We're back online, guys. I hope I didn't lose many of you. I think I lost two. Yeah, it was 15. Okay, so who's got the answers? Okay, yalla. Hmm. Um, what's the answer then? So what should I create? Tell me. Person? No, 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 no. That's not what I wanted to do. Eh? Okay. Okay. Next. It has a what? Best generalization. اه خلي بالك هذا ايه مع patient. I think we already missed something. بس ماشي. اه والله قصدك اوفر كده. Okay, next. Right, ماشي. Generalization with what? Mm-hmm. لا مش composition. These are just attributes. Name, address. Yeah, it's part of the class. Attributes. Yeah. And everything else inherits it. Okay, good. مش كل حاجة لازم تبقى class. Hospital. Okay. على طول كده مرة واحدة كده طخ كده. Hospital has سقط. Yes. اوكي خلينا طب نعمل نحط الديبارتمنت هنا مثلا. اوكي. Between hospital and department. Composition. Yeah. طبعا it's subjective whether that department can go to a different hospital or not, but let's say no. خلاص ماشي. Okay, so department. من الستاف للديبارتمنت. Okay. Like this. Okay. All right. So this would be good. This would be correct. Next. See. Okay. خلينا بس نطلع البتاع دي تاني. Just give me a moment to know what you're talking about. خلاص I think it's already. You had one more arrow from who? No, because it's the departments. Okay, aggregation levels, yeah. Okay, next up. A marina harbors boats. Boats can either be a sailboat or a motorboat. Both types of boats. Both types of boats have motors, except that sailboats can sail with or without a motor, but a motorboat obviously cannot. A motorboat would have one or two motors, while a sailboat would have a maximum of one motor. I don't know why I'm having a hard time reading this. Concentration is just not there خالص يعني. خلاص خلصتوها؟ بسم الله ما شاء الله. Let me just share the screen with the students. Okay. Oh, we did. Okay, so Rima, sorry. Okay, so while you guys solve this exercise, I'm gonna show them the solution to it. I forgot to share the screen. Okay, guys, guys at home, I'm gonna do this. No, this is not what I had in mind. Okay. Okay, guys at home, I apologize again. I keep always forgetting doing the screen share thing. So it was, the answer was, everybody is a person. Yeah, and the person has a name, address, and the other things are all attributes. And a person could be a patient. Let me just do this first. Can be a patient, or it can be staff. Staff can either be a nurse or a doctor. Okay, and we had the hospital, and the hospital had a composition with departments, which has a aggregation with the staff. Okay, so that would be the answer to that first exercise. All right, let me go back again to the Doctor, I did it with just 2 classes. 5 classes. Okay, yes, Hisham. The multiplicity. Yeah. Yes. The number will be the other summation. So to be from 1 to many, you have to fold. Yeah, so always think the number as it shows next to a class, how many objects of that class? It's showing how many objects of that class. That's the easiest way to remember this, huh? And it can be in the aggregation. It's not just for association, right? Yes. Because remember, association is a part of an aggregation. The only time is that it's generalization. It just doesn't make sense. You're just defining a concept rather than defining multiplicities. Okay, yalla, huh? What's the answer for the second exercise? Say what? Let me first, I'm بعمل الغلطة دي every time. Okay, we have a marina. It has aggregation with, okay, with an S. Okay.
And there's a generalization between boat and sailboat and motorboat.
Generalization between, I said sailboat. Boat goes out of the marina, it's not gonna die, per se. Matter of fact, at some point it's gotta go out of them. Otherwise, it's a useless boat. You have a class called motor. Okay, good. It will be
Composition with motor boats and aggregation of sailboats.
Okay, and has an aggregation. Now, the way I'm reading it, I always read it from the point of view of the child, okay? So it doesn't make sense that is an, well, it could make sense. So if the motorboat is killed off, obviously the motor by itself, that means nothing, okay? Now, if the sailboat is killed off, again, the motor by itself means nothing, okay? So a motor without there being anything, it's nothing, okay? It's just sitting there, okay? Because you're thinking from the perspective of the parent. Don't think of the perspective of the parent. Just think of the perspective of the child. Composition or aggregation says nothing about the parent, whether it lives or dies. We're just looking at the child. All right. All right. So the child here is the motor. Okay. And if obviously, from my point of view, a motor without anything is just it just wouldn't live on. Yeah, but what's the purpose in life? Okay, and it come in this context probably. Now, if we're talking about say, sales, and we have a store and we're selling motors, then yeah, I can get it that we can have a more. But we're just talking about actual boats. Again, there's a level of subjectivity, so we're not gonna dwell over it. Okay, it's okay. I would actually not pay too much attention to this one. I'm marking that. But anyway, what I would pay attention to is the multiplicity. 1 to 2. So هنا 1. Empty. 1 to 2 like this.
One dot two.
Here. وضح كلامك. أفصح. Like this, and then 0 to 1. Because it says it says it can have it or cannot have it. Okay. All right, so that's good. That's the second exercise. I hope guys at home you can actually see this. I made sure that you can see it. Now, third exercise. You already start off with the third exercise? Third. Oh, that looks fun. A shopping website has two types of users, customers and administrators. A user has a name and an ID. Administrators have the ability to add and remove customers from the system. Customers have billing information. A customer can have a number of shopping carts while shopping on the website. Customer can also have a number of orders. An order or a shopping cart can only belong to one customer. If the customer unregisters from the website, then the associated shopping carts and orders are removed as well. So it kind of like dropping a big hint on the last line. Yes, big hint. Yeah, that the associated shopping carts and orders are removed as well. Yeah. What? You just wait. I'll just wait for the answer. Okay, I hope this is not your strategy in the exam. Because that answer is never going to come.
You always see one hat, so it's mean that.
Usually, yes. No, it's not math, but yeah, I mean. It could just be an association. Yeah, I think that's better. Yeah, it's actually pretty easy. It looks complicated, but it's actually pretty easy.
Part of the customer class.
Yeah, you should. It's an attribute of the customer. Right? Now, an attribute can actually be a class on its own if it's quite complex, but yeah, I mean, billing information tends to be just one line or you can separate it on a class on its own, it's not gonna hurt. And to give you an example, as a student, one of his attributes is courses you've taken, okay? But a course could be a class in itself, okay? And it has an ID, it has an offering, it has it has a lot of things, yeah.
Look at that. Most of them like looks like attributes of the customer.
أنا واحدة بالضبط كمان.
And then number of orders. Number of cards.
No, that wouldn't be the case. An order and a shopping cart is their classes on their own. مش هنعيدها تاني. Associated shopping carts and orders are removed as well if the customer is unregistered. You have the answer, خلاص? Okay. Now I'm actually, instead of using this snippet thing, I don't like it. I'm gonna use the whiteboard, Ahsan.
Make sure to share the screen.
Yeah. Let me open the whiteboard first. Erase this. And make sure to share the screen. Okay. يلا.
First of all, we will have
No,
shopping website.
just a second. You have a class called website
Yes.
for?
Shopping website.
Yeah, why? Why? The whole system is the website. Okay. So we don't need to represent that as a class. Okay.
Don't you need it so you can make the aggregation with the user and the customers and the app. So you're just.
No. It's a common thing. Okay. And I saw this in your midterms quite a bit when I see a lot of people putting the football league thing and then aggregating everything under the foot. It's not necessary. I mean, the football league is our system. Okay.
Okay, then.
طبعا I let it slide on the exam.
The
let's say.
customers,
Huh?
the user, they're just existing without any association.
Yeah. I mean, this is our system. So in the system over here,
You have-
and at the university, we'll have student.java, we'll have university.java. We won't have a university.java file because the whole system is the university.
Okay.
So let's focus on the details now.
So you have user
We have user.
and customer and.
Oh, شوية بس شوية. Okay. Customer. Okay, كلام جميل. What else?
But then customer, has a relationship with the card, composition relationship.
Composition. Well, aggregation. I'm asking the rest of the class. Well, aggregation.
No, it's competition.
Okay, this one is pretty straightforward.
Yeah, but we will have.
Why?
Yeah, for the customer, we have the thing that's very.
Okay, why is it aggregation? Sorry, composition with a shopping cart
Because if the customer is gone, the shopping cart will be.
is removed as well. So in other words, it's dropping a big fat that this is not gonna live. There's something wrong with yeah. It's not being as. I think I have one too many applications opening at the same time.
So you did it right. I thought you looked at my favorite.
I can't see anything. Okay. So multiplicity is obviously in it طبعا many, one to many. Okay, actually zero to many. Okay, but there's still something missing.
The user have attributes.
User had attributes, which is
ID and the,
Not about.
right?
as what?
Yeah, username and ID.
Okay. Username, ID. Still some more stuff missing.
Customer have the billing information.
Customer has billing info. Now billing info could be an attribute or it could be a class on its own, but we'll slide it as an attribute for now, just for simplicity.
And we can have methods.
And then we can have methods. What are the methods?
We add methods, add customer and remove.
Okay, so add customer or remove.
Do I need to specify that the
Do I need to specify?
that they are public?
No, you don't need to. But there's still something missing.
Association
أيوة.
admin and customer.
Between admin and customer. Why? Because an admin needs to grab a hold of the customer in order to remove the customer. Okay. Yani, when you are looking at the function add customer, okay, in the actual code, it will have a customer object C, and it's probably going to call be remove. And you're actually probably going to call the remove that's under the function, okay? Or at some point, you're going to be dealing with a C object of type customer. All right. Okay, one more exercise. Let me go back to yeah, this is a good one. Type. A student is associated with a professor through a course offering of a course, which the student registers for. Course offering describes the start date and end date of the course and which semester the course is offered in. The course offering is associated with a particular course. Student can also come to a professor to ask questions or ask for advice, even if the student is not registered. Graduate students have their thesis work supervised by a professor. Okay, you can ignore the part of where it says even if the student's not registered. I think this has absolutely no implications. That's a fun one. One of my favorites. Like a particular instance where a course is offered, like 310 right now of the fall 2020, that's a course offering. Which is what?
I just need the course.
Are you sure?
There's association.
ايوه قلت ايه؟ صح.
Course offering association with the course.
I like the way you think. Okay. مش نحن نسمي يلا لا كورس وخلاص. I'd be really impressed if somebody got this right on the first try.
You have to represent the ask question pieces for things.
Do I have to what?
Represent the ask questions.
There's a relationship between them. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So the asking part of the advice part is a function, but there's a relationship between a student and a professor, and the relationship goes in two ways, whether it's
Every course has to have course offering, right? It can't be like a course that exists without course offering.
no, not necessarily. Actually, in reality, we have a whole bunch of courses. If you look at our website, there's a whole bunch of courses that has hasn't been offered in a long, long time. And some courses I doubt they've ever even been offered to begin with. Even other universities that I worked at. And even then, SE 310 or 410 as it was before, of fall 2019 is different than the one that was in fall 2018. It was different than the one in fall 2016 with different students, different professors. Okay. أسامة خلاص. No. لو وصلت إن أسامة ذات نفسه مش عارف مش. إيه هشام؟ مم. بيان خلاص؟ Oh ما شاء الله. All right. So بيان always the one starts us off. دياب خالص صفحة بيضاء.
That comes to
طب كويس. هيروس okay is on track. So I'll give you a couple more minutes with those of you who are still working on it. I don't want to ruin your way of thinking. Rani,
I'm just confused about one thing.
which is
If this, I know a student is connected to the professor through a course on. So it's about the line.
mm-hmm.
So there is no line from student to professor. It's through the student course offering because they
No.
contact the professor to do the course offering. So they're both connected.
Okay. That's probably the first 5 minutes of the lecture where you missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but this is true. By the way, FYI, lecture starts at 2:30.
I know. I was talking to another professor about like my previous class.
Yeah,
I need to
sure.
specify conditions.
You need to specify what?
Conditions. Like if I do have a condition. So I need
Yeah, the whole part about if the student is registered or not registered.
no,
Okay.
if the student graduates.
Is a graduate student or not?
Yeah.
No, you don't actually need that خالص.
Graduate is
Yeah, graduate student is a specific type of a student. السلام عليك يا بيان. يعجبني تفكير بيان. Okay. So let's open up the whiteboard. Got the last exercise and I'll let you all go home. Make sure I share the screen. So whiteboard. Okay. Let's focus on the middle part. Student, professor, course offering. يلا. It's like music. I didn't. Man, كلمة to the outside, not to the inside. Okay. يلا.
If it's about the course offering.
We have a course offering. Draw a class called course offering. Well, tell me what to draw.
Yeah, I draw course offering.
Okay, help. Okay, course.
And it has start A and B and J.
Okay, so it's got the attributes. the dates, and then and other information. Okay, so these are the attributes. Okay. Mm. No, no, I'm just waiting. It has a what?
Association relationship with students.
Nope. What type of class is course offering going to be? We have a course class, okay? Which we said is different. No.
So it's abstract.
No. Say what? No. No.
Depends on whether the course is offered or not.
Okay. What? The professor. Okay. And then we have student. الموضوع كبر قوي ها. Okay. So the student and the professor and the course together. And this is what we call a ternary type. And they are together, remember, plane, passenger. When they get together, and that is my course offering.
I thought that was the professor and the student, but not the course.
But, well, it needs a course to get them all together. Okay. So a course is one thing, it's an isolated entity. We have it, مثلا, we have it documented and so on. Student and professor. That's why the course itself is not an association class. It's when those three come together through a teaching process that we all get together through a particular offering of the course. Matter of fact, the same course that I'm teaching right now, I did this whole shimbing before with a different group last year, different start date and a different end date. Okay. Actually, technically, because it's called 310, 410 still exists, and it's going to be the last time. And this offering of 410 has not only different students, but has different professors as well. Okay. All right, so we got that part. So that was the difficult part. Now, the student can ask professor, okay, and ask for advice. Okay, obviously a graduate student can do the same thing too. Okay, then we're not going to stop him. But what's different between a graduate and a student, a regular student, is that the professor supervises. Yalla, huh? Yes. Before we think of the methods, tell me the associations or the relationships and whatever classes that are missing. Generalization, yeah, yes, okay. We call graduate student, okay. Oh, sorry. Let me just stop this for a second. So call it here now graduate. Student. And it's actually pointing like that. Okay. We don't need to. We don't need. Because whatever the student is doing, graduate student is doing as well. It's just they have more. So I don't actually need to define a specific undergraduate student. Okay. Now, there's three things, huh? One of them is advise. One of them is ask questions. And the last one was supervise a thesis. Okay. The first two are applicable to any student, including graduate students. And it's only the last one that is applicable to the graduate student. So, there is, no, مش الدرجة دي. That's all I think it's frozen. It's freezing for some reason. Okay. Ignore the thesis now. Okay. Other than the thesis. Okay. Now the two associations. Let's simplify it. Okay. We're not gonna. Okay. Yes.
Student, the normal, the generalized. You have the ask question.
Yes.
and other one, sure.
Okay, so we can have that. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
All right.
the two methods, and the graduate student will have supervised.
Okay, so we have ask. Okay, and we can also have multiple associations if we want. So ask, advice. Okay, and then here will be supervise for the thesis only.
Can I have them as methods?
Yeah, you can have them as methods
I
too.
did that.
Now, diagrammatically, you can show us two, but then also, so you kind of like diagram explaining that the professor and the student are going to get together for two things. Okay, whether it's for advice or whether it's ask questions, right? It's not going to hurt to have the extra line to be more specific. Okay, so that would be the answer to this question. Now, what I want you to do is, and obviously, if you want to go into more details, then I could have had the thesis to be a separate class on its own, and all right.
And it's supervised by the.
Yeah.
Well, the way you look at it is the professor is supervising the thesis itself, or supervising the student. We're actually supervising the student rather than the thesis.
No, I did a method where the professor will edit on his or like.
Yeah. Okay. Then in this case, we would have another ternary association. Okay, bringing together the student and the thesis and the professor. Okay, good. That would work too. Okay. There's still one more, and that's actually the most difficult of all the questions. We don't have time, we're running out of time, but I do strongly suggest that you do solve that exercise for your upcoming quiz. Didn't say when, but it's obviously it's gonna have a question about static modeling. So please do have the question done. Send me, just like we did with the robustness, send me, and I'll be more than happy to give you feedback. And yeah, best of luck. I'll see you on Monday, inshallah. You're welcome. Welcome, Malawi. I don't know how to end this thing. Okay.